Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Cop Update. It's Thursday, it's the 10th of February. I'm Gav, and this is the LFC Daytrippers. The Cop Update today will be mostly a lineup prediction because I couldn't believe when we done the midweek fix last night that there were four lads. We all picked four different starting 11s, and it made me think that Jurgen Klopp has some big decisions to make on his starting 11 and indeed the subs going into tonight's game with so many being fit. As I said, it looks like only Mane and Henderson won't be available for selection tonight. So there's a lot of big calls that Jurgen Klopp has to make. If you're watching, you're very welcome. Hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Share if you can across your social media. But most important, if you have any Liverpool news that I may not have seen and you have, throw it in there. If you have any questions that you might want to ask, absolutely throw it in there and we'll try sort that out over the next between 20 and 30 minutes, depending how we go. So, it's a big game tonight. It almost feels like I woke up this morning going, yeah, but it's back. Football's back. It's been gone too long. Now I know we do play a cup game at the weekend, but that felt like really like a curtain raiser to getting back into this league football. You know, we've had games on Tuesday and Wednesday night, and some cracking games in there, and some big games with regards to us. City, of course, winning last night. Not so much for us in the top four race because I think we're well clear of that. But there's some, nobody wants the top four, so it's one of those. Let me read out some 11s that people might want, and then we go through what I think may happen because there is big decisions to be made. Gareth wants Alisson, Trent, Robbo, Virgil, Matip, Fabinho, Thiago, Elliott, Salah, Jota, Diaz. John Carew reckons Naby will start ahead of Elliott. Let me see. Hope Diaz and Elliott starts, as Carl Hawley. So do I. You'll see that in a few minutes. Let me see. Tom Flynn is just telling people to like. Go ahead and like. If you're in, hit the like button. If you don't, we can't do anything about it. Garrett Cambridge wants Ali, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Thiago, Ox, Jota, Bobby, Diaz. A little bit different. Ryan B says, yes, Gav, keep up the midday shows or the 2 p.m. shows. Yeah, I'm trying my best. I had to take a couple of days off from them because of different things going on. But as I said, I'll do my best to be here at 2 o'clock as many days as possible. And hopefully we're back in a rhythm now where we can get back to every day. Gav, I can honestly see Diaz bagging a brace, so MC clearly wants Diaz to start. Glenn Parsons wants Alisson, Trent, Matip, Virgil and Robbo. I think everyone's gone for that back five. It's the midfield and forwards that are the issue. Fabinho, Thiago, Elliott, Diaz, Jota, Salah. 12-0 to us, says Glenn Parsons. Glenn's clearly on the drink early, which I've nothing against it. Curtis has he's no changes to that back five. Fabinho, Thiago, Keita, Diaz, Firmino, Jota. Stuck between Matip or Kanate for him. Wouldn't be surprised if Salah starts as well. Your recommendation for first 2 or 3 traditional songs to learn to play, says Aluminium. On the banjo, because I only know the banjo. You'll have to go to Keith for Tin Whistle and stuff like that. Molly Malone seems to be the easiest. But you can look them up if you look up traditional Irish song books, ballad books or something like that. You'll find the easy ones to play, but I know Molly Malone comes in as one of the easiest to play. Gav, Leicester are 13 points off than this time last season. They're just dropping like a stone, and their manager's comments isn't helping. It really isn't. Let me see. Cahill has Alisson, Trent, Kanate, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Elliott, Thiago seems to be very, very popular as a midfield. Diaz, Jota, Salah just seems to be that forward line where you go all out and go at them. Kevin Ball reckons Schmeichel, James Justin, Amarte, Ndidi, Thomas, Dewsbury Hall, Samar, Madison, Albrighton, Daka, Luckman is apparently the Leicester team. So would that be Amarte and Ndidi at centre back? With Dewsbury Hall and Samar midfield with Madison, Albrighton and Luckman, or Daka, Luckman each side of Dakman? Luckman each side of Daka. It's an interesting one, Kev, if that's the truth. Because I'm going, where's Soyuncu? I'm looking at the forward line's an interesting one. But I fancy Liverpool if that's Leicester starting 11. Owen Conroy, Klopp will start Milner if Henderson is out, and that's the reality. Maybe so. Ali, Trent, VVD, Matip, Robbo, Fab, Keita, Thiago, Diaz, Jota, Salah. Says Pratik Montana. That's a very popular lineup, and it's probably what I'm going to come close to, if not absolutely bang on that. Would you not say Elliot, Fab, and Thiago is very imbalanced? Says MC. No, I think the way I look at that Liverpool midfield is Thiago and Fabinho have been excellent together when they're putting with anyone. Whether it's, I think they played there, Knox has played there, Henderson's played there. I'm sure Milner's probably played in there. Elia has definitely played in there. I think that's the starting. That might be the starting midfield when we beat Leeds when he gets injured in September. But what we're looking for, in my opinion, is the protection in Fabinho, the control in Thiago, i.e. he very rarely gives the ball away. When he does, it's usually crossfield passes that get cut out. And we're looking for someone to be really positive going forward and doing different things. So breaking lines, committing players, looking for the good passes, link play, and that's where Elliot, I think, absolutely fits us to perfection. So I don't think it's imbalanced. I think it's actually the balance we're looking for. Usual back five: Fabinho, Thiago, Elliot, Jota, Diaz, Bobby, Salah to come on and twist the knife, says Charlie the Red. Sukhvinder Singh says, yes lads, come on, you might be Reds tonight. Yeah, I'm really excited. 8:15 kick-off, so we should be on about 20 to 10 for our full-time Reds if there's not massive injuries or injury time. So yeah, about 20 to 10 we should be on there. 9:40, 9:45. Barry Devaney says, yeah, indeed, at centre half for Amarte. Is he cutting off his nose to spite his face here? Because have a look at Leicester's centre backs. Hasn't he got your man that he got off Southampton? Is he unfit as well? Vestergaard, has he got him? He has Johnny Evans, which obviously there must be an injury there. Indeed, he has a centre midfielder. Amarte is not the best centre half in the world. He's more of a midfielder. You got Soyuncu. So if that's the rumoured lineup, there has to be a bust up somewhere because he's not going as strong as he could. Gav, have you seen how good Sepp van der Berg looks in the Championship? One for the future, definitely. Ryan, I haven't seen an awful lot from him. I have heard good reports from at Preston. I could be wrong, but I still don't see him having a first team future at Liverpool. I don't see the fascination with Tielemans, says Red Tide Rising. He's a fair weather player and his attitude stinks. A big fat no for Liverpool. United meant to be heavily interested now. And this is what we were trying to say last night. If you're out of form, you're out of form. If you're having a bad time, you're having a bad time. But the way Leicester and Rodgers and the players are going about this makes them all look bad. And if a player wants out and the accusation being thrown at him is he wants out and he's not giving 100%, it might hesitate some clubs to go, well, if it doesn't go too well here, he goes through a sticky patch, is there going to be a repeat? And I don't think players or manager are coming off looking well here. Now, I'm not saying that Leicester couldn't come out tonight, play as strong as they can and give Liverpool a right game and get a result. Every possibility that could happen. Because when Leicester actually play to their potential, they're really good. But at the moment, and I might be made to eat my words here, but at the moment they look very disjointed. It doesn't look like there's an awful lot of harmony in the squad. And there's little bits just popping out. And Sunday evening was the pinnacle of it all. The comments and stuff like that, and then the players going out apparently that night and then making apologies on Monday or Tuesday. It's just it just doesn't look right. That's not to say they couldn't come to Anfield and get a result. They've done it in the past, or they've come very close to it in the past. So it's just one of those where you have to see what comes out at about probably 6:30 tonight when the teams are announced. But it'll tell you a lot when you see that team come out from Leicester. So Sukhvinder says, and I hope I'm saying your name right, Sukhvinder Singh, I hope I'm saying your name right. He says, Gav, I think we'll smash these tonight 4-1 to the mighty Reds. I reckon Rodgers' comments blow up in his face and his players don't turn up at all tonight. 4-0 to us, says Dynamo Kev. Let me see. Nothing less than 5-0 is acceptable, says Hassi Mia. Okay, well, I like that you won 5-0. I don't think if it's not acceptable if you don't get it. Cameron has the right attitude. He says, I trust any team Klopp chooses. Leicester have been poor this season. We need to trust the squad players to come in and do a job. It'd be interesting if you look at the Liverpool starting 11 away at Leicester and how close he can get to it in this game. Because I think that defeat really, really hurt some players. Like, that was one where Liverpool players actually came out and went, that wasn't good enough, you know. And Klopp said it wasn't good enough. Now, he didn't hang him out to dry. He just went, that's not good enough. We didn't play well. Leicester deserved it. We move on. But I'm wondering, is players always have these things in their head. Like, no matter what level of football you play, you know, I didn't play a really high level of football. Played it for a long time, but didn't play a not really high level. But there was always games where you went, they stuffed us the last time, and we're not letting that happen again. You do come out with that bit of a, you know, a bit of a extra 10% in you to try win a game. And I'm wondering how close he might get to that starting 11. I must look it up to see what the starting 11 on the day was and see how close he could actually get to it. Because it really hurt. That Leicester one really hurt. Like, it's 3 days after Christmas. The lineup that day for us was Alisson in goal. It was Tsimikas, Van Dijk, Matip, Alexander-Arnold. So it'll be one change with Robertson coming in there maybe. Fabinho, Henderson, Ox. I think you might see 2 changes to that. And up front was Mane, Jota, Salah. So it was a really strong team. Jota will definitely want to get one back. Mane won't play. Salah, if he plays, you know what's going to happen. He's on a mission now, it looks like. Fabinho's been in the team, but if you see Thiago and Elliott come in for Ox and Henderson, you know, they'll want to come in and do well for different reasons, because they know there's other players chomping at the bit to take that place. And if Robertson comes in, he has 4 other players at the back and in goal there that were on the losing side that day, and won't want a repeat of it. Vestergaard is terrible to Féileacáin. He's still a centre back though. Rodgers doesn't fancy Vestergaard, and Evans is out for a while. He signed him in the summer, didn't he? He didn't fancy him. What's he doing signing him? So it's an interesting one. Leicester will beat Liverpool, says Arsenal for life. Come on now. Don't start that at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Leicester getting tongued, says Hassie Mia. Wolves will beat Arsenal, says Féileacáin. Whoa, the shots being fired in the chat. If Salah doesn't start, then Taki needs to start, as he was really good against Cardiff. Pratik Montana says that. I thought he was really good. Yeah, I think he was busy. He was tidy on it. He gets a goal. I felt sorry for him and the other 2 forwards against Cardiff, because our midfield just didn't join it up. And I think if you look, someone said earlier about the imbalance of the team. I think Jones and Keita don't match it up or knit it together as well as Thiago and Elliott would. Now, Keita's still in contention. Jones is still in contention. But look, that's what I'm saying. Really hard decisions. Really hard decisions. Thor says Soyuncu is very, very scared. Leicester fans unimpressed with Vestergaard. Tielemans not for me. Think he would expose our midfield and block pathway for our kids. There's a couple on this podcast, Shawnee included, that really like Tielemans, and I'm already seen him this season. He's not 100% sure if it's he wants out and he's kind of stopped, but he's like, his legs look like they're gone. He just doesn't have the legs to run around and do what Liverpool would want him to do. Garrett says there will be a buzz around Anfield tonight. The Diaz signing, Elliott comeback, and Salah coming back as well. I hope so. A night game at Anfield, 8:15, people out of work, go for a few drinks, or not, just turn up and be really fucking buzzing to be there. I think there will be a buzz about the place, and I hope there is, because, you know, we talk about, you know, Everton are in trouble and they need their fans and could have turned toxic. Liverpool need their fans. You know, they need it, and we've seen how much we suffered when we didn't have fans. We need to go into every game now, and alright, we're 12 points behind, we've 2 games on, but we need to go into every game now, 100% on the pitch, in the stands, and just go for it. Turn it into a little bit manic. Turn it a little bit manic and see where we get to. Anyway, let's try do a score prediction. Okay, so here we go. Look at this. Look what I done for you. So, not a score prediction, a team prediction. So I'm going to put, we're going to put Alisson in there. I think that's a fair assumption. We're going to put Alisson in, okay? Tielemans great on the ball, not interested when he hasn't got us, to Sean Lawson. Yeah, and I don't know if that's a recent thing or whether it's a thing that's been spotted over a couple of years with Tielemans, but it seems to me to be something that pops up about him over probably the last 6 months, and that coincides with him not wanting to be at Leicester. And Shawnee just doesn't see us profiling him at all. Sony says he may be a centre-back, Gav, this Vestergaard, but he's literally been playing Amarte, who's a DM instead of. Well, there you go. Glenn says Anfield should be rocking tonight. The atmosphere at the early and afternoon games can be poor at times. You know how I feel, Gav, says Shawnee. Basuma, Bellingham. Yeah, I do. I really do. So let's go and let's try put some players in here, okay? So I think we're all kind of happy with Alisson. I don't think there's a issue there. Would I be right? Anyone against Alisson, let me know. I'm going to put Trent in at right back. I'm going to put VVD in at centre back, if that's okay. I'm going to put Robertson in at left back. Let me know if anyone is against Robertson. Would anyone like to see Tsimikas? He did start against Cardiff and he really done really, really well. He's one of the bright sparks in the first half for me. I'm going to leave one centre back spot clear for the moment, okay? So if we look at that as it just comes in there, okay? So what we have is we've Alisson, Trent, VVD, Robertson. We all agree on that. Just on the centre half thing, because Keith said something interesting last night when he said, I think he would have went for Van Dijk, Matip, but would it be Konate? And everyone was kind of questioning Konate, Matip. And the one thing that came out of it was, Joe Gomez. Joe Gomez not. I think Chris even said I don't think Joe Gomez will be in the squad, which is interesting. MC wants Adrian and goal. Jesus Christ, no way. Ali says Konate. He would want Konate. Just back on Tielemans. Keith says Tielemans doesn't fit any. He's a good player, just not for our system. Bellingham and Tchouaméni for him. Konate for James Smith. Konate might be needed for his pace, says Kevin Ball. I think he goes Konate, says Sean Lawson. So, Jesus, there's loads. I thought Matip was nearly a shoe in. Play Matip and keep Konate for Burnley. We will need him against Weghorst. Okay. Charlie wants Konate for Daka's pace. Konate for the pace. Okay, so we're going to go with Konate. I think we're going to go with Konate. I would have went Matip, but listen, what are we? I don't know. We listen to each other. I don't know what the word is. So let's go with Konate in midfield or in centre back with VVD. So let's go with, we put Konate in there, which is cool. So midfield was, now someone did say earlier in the chat, listen, if Milner doesn't, or if Henderson doesn't play, Milner might start. There's a huge possibility of that. So let's look at our options. Fabinho. Are we all okay with Fabinho? I think we are. I'm going to risk it and I'm going to put Fabinho in there because I think he's probably, the only shoe-in midfield at the moment. With the options we have, I think he might be the only shoe-in we have in midfield. So let's put Fabinho in there. Okay. Loads of Konate votes, so we're gone past that. Let's go with Konate. Marshall can't wait for tonight's game. Either can I. Marshall would want Matip, but you're being outvoted because loads of Konate stuff come in. Kevin Ball is happy with Matip or Konate. Konate usually for the pace, but you might see Matip against Burnley. Because they don't do an awful lot of pace, but they do an awful lot of aerial stuff. And Matip's quite good in the air. So is Konate, but he depends more on his pace than Matip would. The Democratic Republic of Tripperpill. Yeah, well, that's it. That's why we voted. But I'm going with Fabinho. I think we're good. Now, the other players. So we have Milner available. We have Oxlade-Chamberlain available. We have Elliott available. We have Thiago available. We have Keita available. Am I right? And I hope I haven't repeated any of them. And we have Curtis Jones available. So it's Milner, Ox, Thiago, Elliott, Jones, Keita. That would leave Henderson now. Okay, so that's 6 players for 2 spots. When you think about it, we're quite heavy in midfield when you get them all back, aren't we? When you think about it, Thiago and Keita, Thiago and Keita for me says Pratik. Naby, Thiago and Fab. MC reckons that could be a show. Fab, Thiago, Naby. So Thiago's name is coming up an awful lot. So let's put him in. Because I think Thiago is the constant there in all those sort of predictions. So let's put Thiago in there, right? And see what way it goes. So let's put Thiago in. So we're happy with Fabinho and Thiago. And I think the form they have together, is really, really good. And as I said, they played with various other players that play in that right-sided number 8 position. So that has been really good. Okay? Thor says, in relation to Shawnee Lawson's comments on Tielemans, it's just not a Leicester thing. He shows similar disinterested defensive attitude with Belgium. Only mitigation is Martinez is the manager. So, okay, there's more to it than just this season. And maybe I'm just noticing it a bit more this season because of his contract situation. So, Fabinho, Thiago. I don't think anyone wants Milner in there. But I think it's a fair shout to think he might start him if Henderson doesn't. Okay? I don't know if he starts Keita. I thought Keita and Jones were both poor at the weekend. Okay, but they've minutes in their legs, and that counts over Thiago. Okay, Elliott comes back in and gets 35 minutes or something. So that's good. I think it might be down. Ox hadn't trained, remember, because of the COVID stuff, so he may have to see the bench. It may come down. It may come down to Keita or Elliott. James Smith wants Thiago and Elliott ahead of Fabinho. Thiago has 12 minutes in him to start here. Burnley would just kick him around the place. Yeah, that's fair. Fab, Ox, Milner, I foresee, says the Reclaimer. Wow, there's 146 people watching, by the way. If you can get that to 100 likes out of all of you, that'd be great, and the Reclaimer would be happy. So, do we go with Elliott? Do we go? We need legs, says Ross. So Jones and Elliott to start. I just don't see him putting. I can't see him putting Jones or Keita and Elliott. It makes those three, Jones, Elliott, Keita. I can't see a mix of either of them playing with Thiago or with Fabinho. I just don't see it. Two of them three together. I don't think Jones and Keita worked the other day ahead of Henderson. I just don't think it did. Because we didn't need control. We were well on top in the game and stuff like that. So I just don't see it happening. We have too many options to be playing Milner, with all due respect to Gareth Cambridge. I think he puts Elliott in. I'm gonna shout this one and put Elliott in. I really am. And then it's gonna become a scrap to who's on the bench. Because as I said, if you put Elliott in there, you have 4 players there, haven't you? You have Ox, Milner, Keita, Jones, all looking for a couple of spots on the bench. So let's go with Elliott, because I think Elliott's getting most kind of shouts there. So let's go with him. It's actually mad to think when you try pick a bench as well. I'm just thinking of it now, to be honest with you. It's actually hard. Gav, it's who's best suited to the right of the three. Thiago plays off the left. Yeah, and I think Elliott's made for it. When everyone's fit, I would absolutely campaign for Elliott to be in that team, in that midfield, if you can get them on the pitch as much as possible. The rest of them all bring values to different types of games and different scenarios. But I know he's really young, but I think it might be time to just go, listen, Elliott is just very special as a footballer. Now, you might see him coming in and out at times, a bit like Foden does at Man City, because he's still young, and you have to respect that. But right now, after coming on for 35 minutes at the weekend, getting a goal, the ovation at Anfield, he'd be absolutely flying to go to me. Absolutely flying to go to me. Up front, I think it's fair to say that Jota will start. So let's put Jota in there. Okay, the rest of the decisions is around the other two. So Jota will start. I think we're all good on that. All right, so I'll stick Jota in, and let's go from there. So Jota is in. The other two. Now you're going to get loads of names coming in. So Carl wants Diaz, Jota, Salah. Trevor reckons Thiago won't start. He's the sort that needs build up. That could be right. Let's see what happens. Elliott might start and play 45. Who knows, as the Reclaimer. Milner only for the last 20 if we're a few goals up. Diaz, Jota, Salah just keeps coming up. The question here is, if he plays Firmino centrally, and you put Jota maybe off the left, which probably rules out Diaz, because I think Jota 100% starts this game. He's the one that's primed to start the most out of all of them, and the form he's on. If he plays Firmino, Jota starts left, and then it's a case of, does he go the same front three as he played against Cardiff and go again, and he has Salah, Diaz on the bench? Does he put Jota central, play Diaz off the left, and does he go all out and put Salah on the right and leaves Firmino and Minamino on the bench? I think it's really, really hard. Bobby and Diaz, Salah won't start, says James Smith. Dan Bailey says, good afternoon. Diaz and Salah, says Ali. Jota, Diaz, Ox for Trevor Vela. I don't think Ox. I don't think the options we have there. I can't see Ox starting up front. I just can't see it. I really can't. Salah is not coming back early to sit on the bench. I understand the Salah thing, not coming back early to sit on the bench, right? But at the same time, the medical staff have to look at him. They assess him over yesterday, today. And he comes back Tuesday, doesn't he? So yesterday, Tuesday, Wednesday, today. and make a decision on him. I think the sensible thing to do is have him on the bench. But Salah being Salah will be coming back on. I'm playing. I'd rather you give me 60 to go out and do as much damage as I can against these than come on with 30 left and the game's wrapped up. I think he needs to go out with a game that's on the line and put something to bed in his own mind. That's just the way I see it. If Diaz starts, Jota goes central, Firmino doesn't start. Jota, Bobby, Taki, says Ross B, which will be the same front three as against Cardiff. And people might go, well, you know, when Minamino scored, Jota got one, but it didn't look great in the first half. I think that was more down to the midfield and the weather, believe it or not, because a lot of people said to me, you've no idea how bad the weather was at Anfield the weekend, trying to hit crossfield passes or diagonals or any ball that went in the air at all was difficult. Mo's a machine. Medical department have no answers for that man. Says Barry Devaney. Klopp won't just throw Diaz into a game. He doesn't know the system yet. Klopp eases players in. I think that's a great shout from Stephen O'Callaghan. I'm wondering, does he play Bobby and he does Salah? I'm starting to wonder that. I did want Diaz, Jota, Salah, but I think that's a brilliant point with Stephen O'Callaghan. I know he gets 35 against Cardiff, but you could see in that he was wandering around. You could see he wasn't used to the players he was playing with. Now, he's trained all week, so it could be one of those where that stands for him. We've it's a prediction we're only doing, but it's a big show we've to make. So, Jota, Bobby, Salah is coming in. Diaz is still there. Kieran B would not be one bit surprised to see Diaz start. He needs a time off. He's played 4 120-minute games in the AFCON in 12 days. We need him to rest it for the games coming up. I think it's easiest to agree that Salah starts on the bench. I think it's the most sensible thing. When you look at everything and you take everything into consideration, I think the most sensible thing would be to start him on the bench. I 100% see the argument that he wants to start. I 100% see that. So if Jota was to start and Salah wasn't, could he do Jota, Diaz, Minamino? Could he put Jota on the right with Diaz on the left with Bobby? Or could he just go the front three that started at the weekend? I'm going to have to... I think it's a really hard one. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I think Jota down the middle is important. I think he might do Jota. If he does Jota, Diaz, Minamino, you're thinking, is it a bit light? I get the point on Diaz needing to learn. It's really, really hard. It's really, really hard. Salah will be even more angry if he starts on the bench. If Salah's on the bench, I'll put Elliott on the right, Jota left, and Bobby up top. Good players find ways to play with each other. It's different betting in a defender over time. Forwards, I think Klopp lets them play. Do you know what? I'm going to put... Let's put Diaz in. Right? But here's one. Here's a curveball for you. Let's put Firmino in as well. And put Diaz down the left, Jota down the right. And let's put Firmino central. And the reason I'm saying that is Jota comes on against Leicester in the League Cup, if you remember, and goes down the right hand side and drifts and causes absolute mayhem. So let's go with this team and let's see what people think. I think that's the best of all worlds, that team there. You're getting Diaz for a start, you're getting Jota in the team, you're getting Firmino, who knows these games, you have Salah to come on, Minamino's there available, and then when you look at a bench, you're probably looking at Kelleher, Matip will be on the bench, Tsimikas, so that's 3. So then you're looking at 2 midfielders, 2 attackers. I think you'll end up with Firmino, Salah, or Minamino, Salah, and then midfield, I think you might end up with, I think it could be Keita, Jones. I think Oxen Milner might miss out. It's really hard to decide. So I'm going to go... Jota is poor on the right, but he came on the right against Leicester in the League Cup and was just drifting everywhere. And it was brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. And I'm going to go with that. Jota, Diaz, Firmino. I had got Jota, Diaz, Salah with Jota central, but I'm going to go with that. And I'm just trying to think of players that have minutes, are primed to play, and a mix of players coming back like Elliott, like Thiago, a new player in Diaz, but you have got players that with minutes in their legs and stuff like that. Reclaimer says that team wins 9-0. Not having Jota on the right, can't sing a song then. But he might drift over to the left. But look, I'm going to go with that team. Let's see how it goes. But either way, listen, if you tell me that Salah's starting ahead of any of those three, if you tell me that Matip starts instead of Kanate, I'm fine. If you go in midfield and you say, listen, we're going to start, I'm not happy with Keita or Jones and Elliott. But, you know, if you told me that Ox was going to start in the right instead of Elliott maybe, and have him on the bench, I'm okay with that. Although I think one or two players are going to miss out on the squad here tonight, and it'll be interesting to see which ones do. Aluminium says Salah starts. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see. Henderson has got an issue with his back. Diaz is an out-and-out winger. He would be horrendous as a 9. There is some talk around Liverpool that he is being looked upon as a possible central option, but we'll have to wait and see. That is it for the Cop update. Our lineup prediction for tonight: Liverpool v Leicester, 8:15 at Anfield. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your Thursday. I hope you enjoy the game. Don't forget to come and join me and Kev at about 9:45, 20 to 10, 9:45, for full-time Reds, and we talk everything that has happened in the game. If you don't like that team that I've put up there, which is absolutely fine, but I have let you help me most of the way. If you don't like it, by all means, hit the comments. Hit the comments underneath the show when we're finished. And as I said, look, it's all about opinion. And if you want to try your opinion in afterwards, absolutely throw it in. Don't forget that we have our charity partner Féileacáin. All the details in the description. Website, donate page. And as I said, if you can donate, brilliant. If you can't, share it anywhere you can. Please share it. You know, there's loads of people in here watching. There's loads of people. You're all on social media. You're all in chats. You're all in Facebook chats. You're all in Messenger, whatever it is, WhatsApp, whatever. Just please share it around and let people have a look at it. Make their own mind up. And if they can donate, great. And if they can't, just tell them, look, if it's not something for you, please share it on, because this is a big thing we're pushing between now and June. Glenn Parsons says we're smashing that team, whatever one we put out. Salah will be here, says Tanush Siva. Hit the likes, please, says Dan Bailey. Up the Reds, up the Trippers, says the Reclaimer. And Diaz is not physical enough to be a 9 just yet, in MC's opinion. That has been it. Thanks for joining me. We will talk to you later on. Over now.